अस्सलाम वालेकुम। आई फील लाइक कभी कभी इंसान का दिल करता है कि कुछ ऐसा मिले या ऐसा आर्ट कंज्यूम करने को मिले जो उसकी ज़िंदगी की कोई तुक बना सके. एंड फॉर मी वन ऑफ द आर्ट फॉर्म्स इज़ films, and I feel like for a lot of people that is film. So I thought I'd make a list of films जो कि मुझे लगता है make a lot of sense of my life for me. So the first one that I really love, साल में मैं 3-4 दफ़ा तो ज़रूर देखता हूँ. It just helps me make sense of a lot of things. It's Lady Bird. Basically, it is a movie about young girl, obviously. क्योंकि we are thinking about an age where teenage में कभी-कभी I feel like teenage में इंसान का दिमाग बहुत ज़्यादा absorb कर रहा होता है दुनिया को, to the point where you are learning to absorb things. So it just gets very difficult to process things because जो processing power दुनिया के बारे में जो एक adult की होती है वो एक teenager की उस वक्त form होनी शुरू होती है, but the absorption power is heightened. So it just gets really difficult to make sense of things, and I feel like Lady Bird really does a good job of capturing that confusion, that angst, and that emotion. The scene that really sticks out for me is where Lady Bird asks her mother, "Do you like me?" and her mother responds, "Yes, I love you." And then Lady Bird asks her mother again, "But do you like me?" And I feel like ये जो जुमला है where you're asked, where you're wanting to be liked by your parents. I feel like every teenager goes through that phase. और वो जो एक डगमगाने वाला फेज होता है लाइक वर्सेस लव का, वो ये फिल्म बहुत खूबसूरती से कैप्चर करती है. The second film that I keep going back to is also a coming of age film, Perks of Being a Wallflower. खैर मैंने तो एमा वॉटसन की वजह से देखी थी because I was a Harry Potter fan. Because when I watched it, it didn't make sense to me, and then I watched it a couple years later and I realized that this is such a profound film. खैर मैंने किताब पढ़ी हुई है, लेकिन मूवी देखने का फ़ायदा मुझे महसूस होता है वो ये है कि अब टाइम नहीं होता किताबें पढ़ने का उस तरह से या रीड करने का. ऑब्वियसली रीडिंग भी एक है phenomenon which helps bring comfort, but Perks of Being a Wallflower is the kind of a movie that is very close to the book, so you're not missing out on a lot. And again, it's about a teenager who finds friends who add a lot of color to his life, and what friendship should be like at that age, or what friendship should not be like at that age. So I just think कि वो बहुत खूबसूरती से एक isolated इंसान की relationship to the world around him through his friends इस चीज़ को कैप्चर करती है. और जब मैं उसे देखता हूँ तो मुझे अपना वो वक्त याद आता है when I did not used to have a lot of friends, and I found people in my life who helped me fit in, and I'm very grateful for them. So yeah, that's a film that just really helps me be grateful for having people in my life that understand me. And the third one is, I know it's like बहुत ही different है बाकी फिल्मों से, but this is one movie that I watched जब हम लोगों का fixture था मेरे boarding school का with another boarding school, and then they had this huge cinema screen in their hostel, and they would play films on it. So when we went there, obviously we were the guests, so they played a movie for us. उन दिनों आई हुई थी V for Vendetta, and we watched V for Vendetta over there. And at that time, it did not make sense to me, that film, but my brother was obsessed with it. He had a DVD of it, or I was like, why does he like it so much? And then almost like 7-8 years back, I watched that movie again, and I was like, oh my god, this movie is so profound. So अब मैं उसे तब देखता हूँ जब मुझे शदीद गुस्सा चढ़ा होता है कि where is this world going, and I want to make sense of things, because The movie is about a man who's trying to fix the world, but you also realize it doesn't take just one person to change the world. It doesn't take just one person to change the system. uh, हर किसी को इकट्ठे चलना है और किस तरह से आपने इकट्ठे होके एक दूसरे की मदद करनी है. आई नो इट्स मेरा इस मूवी को देखने का पर्सपेक्टिव जो है बहुत ही डिफरेंट है. आई डोंट थिंक द मूवी वाज इवन डिजाइंड फॉर इट टू बी कंज्यूम विद दैट पर्सपेक्टिव, but here I am watching it because it helps me see the world clearly. Again, these are the movies that help me see the world clearly. So yeah, then we have 500 Days of Summer. So I bought it. I bought the DVD back when the movie came out because Instep was raving about it. I was a very ravenous consumer of Instep, and I was like, huh, Instep jo kehta hai wohi dekhna hai. And I watched 500 Days of Summer and I was like, what the hell is this movie? And when I watched it back in like 2014, 2015, it just clicked. I think कुछ movies को देखने के लिए आपको ज़िंदगी experience करनी पड़ती है, and 500 Days of Summer is one of those films. It's about a guy who is looking back on his heartbreak and all the red flags that were there and the red flags that he did not see. So उसने contrast करके बताया हुआ है कि green flags versus red flags. खैर मुझे ऐसे लगता है, but it's a really good movie, and anybody who has gone through heartbreak, I think they should watch it to make sense, or somebody who is just trying to make sense of their heartbreak, I think they should watch it because it really beautifully captures what it's like to go through your daily life when you are heartbroken. And I'll end the movie with Francis Ha. uh, so I mentioned Lady Bird earlier, and I realized कि Francis Ha में भी Greta Gerwig है, but Lady Bird is directed by Greta Gerwig. A lot of movies after Lady Bird are really good, जो कि बहुत अच्छी फिल्म्स हैं जो कि ग्रेटा गर्विग ने बनाई हैं, जिसमें लिटिल विमेन है और अब बारबी मूवी भी है. But Frances Ha is one of her older films, and I really like it because जो पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट कन्फ्यूजन वो फिल्म कैप्चर करती है ना, मेरा नहीं ख्याल मैंने कोई ऐसी फिल्म देखी होगी जिसमें पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट कन्फ्यूजन, बीइंग लॉस्ट इन द वर्ल्ड, ट्राइंग टू फाइंड योर प्लेस विद योर फ्रेंड्स, योर फैमिली, trying to find your place in the world after your bachelor's, the struggle, the emotional struggle, you know. हाँ, we get it, everybody struggles, but वो जो एक hesitation of living in that phase होती है, वो I feel like Frances Ha वो बहुत खूबसूरती से portray करती है. The awkwardness of existing at a time where everything is so confusing that you know you're living like a jelly जिसको जहाँ हिलाए वो वहाँ जाएगी, पर वो बाउंस बैक करने की भी कोशिश करेगी. So you're like going like this, but it's not just physically or in terms of the things that you're accomplishing, but also what's going on in your head and how it is impacting your life. So yeah, these are some of the films that I really love, and I thought I'd share my list with you. Let me know if you watched any of those films. Uh, and if you haven't watched any of them, please do watch them and let me know what you thought of them.